We have the autism and Tylenol story. They call us conspiracy theorists, but when the evidence keeps piling up from Harvard studies to lawsuits linking Tylenol to autism, is this a repeat of the lies we were told during COVID by Democrats? Of course it always is. So we have an image from a Harvard study that there is evidence of a Tylenol autism link published as recently as August 2025, co-authored by the dean of the Harvard School of Public Health. So that's pretty new. It's so funny because I'm like, when Trump says it and Bobby, they're like, they're insane. But then I'm like, okay, so when it comes from Harvard studies, are you guys okay with that? Because those are kind of like your people. So we have a video of Chris Cuomo getting crushed by the facts on air after claiming the Harvard Tylenol study came to a split decision on whether there's a link to autism or not.
So Harvard does a review of previous studies. And they came up with what I would term as a layman, right, because I'm not a clinician, as a split decision in favor of studies that found that Tylenol may have an association with negative effects, including potential forms of autism.
This research is not a split decision, as you described. 27 studies found an association between prenatal use of acetaminophen and autism. And there were 13 studies that went the other way, but the authors concluded that the higher quality studies favored an association. And if I can just quote the dean of the Harvard School of Public Health, my former institution, quote unquote, there is a causal relationship between prenatal acetaminophen and the neurodegenerative disorders of ADHD and autism spectrum disorder.
The best part about this is it's so funny. So everyone was posting today the screenshot from Tylenol being like, yeah, we don't recommend this when you're pregnant. This is literally, I didn't go to school. This is the most common sense thing. When you're pregnant, of course they tell you to not take Tylenol or a bunch of medicines or any of these things for very specific reasons. I mean, girls have talked about it on TikTok that I'm like, it's a very common sense thing. This was my issue with the COVID vaccine too. I'm like, everyone knows when you're pregnant, you don't take vaccines. You're not even supposed to eat sushi or dye your hair or do any of these things. Why would you think that that's safe? And then, of course, Tylenol comes out today after you have, liberals, fucking chugging Tylenol. And I'm like, literally, all Trump has to do is being breathing is an extreme right-wing thing. You have to do the opposite. This is how we get liberals to, literally just strangle themselves and stop breathing. Anything he says, they will immediately go against. I mean, literally here in the hallway, when Bobby was talking about not mandating vaccines, so not forcing healthy people to get vaccines. There was a woman on the phone calling me I need my booster as soon as possible. And I'm like, how fucking stupid are you? There's a difference between banning vaccines, which, trust me, you will be okay if you don't have them. That they've probably clearly made you retarded, which is why you're calling, you don't even understand the difference between mandating something and not mandating something, which is why you're calling your doctor to get your booster and the irony of 2 weeks later, you're gonna have the worst COVID you've ever had in your life. The whole thing is the link to autism. Oh, well, I took Tylenol and my kids are okay. Okay, you literally, when people are source, I'm like, you are the source. You also have the tism. And here's the thing, when you talk about okay, well, I smoked cigarettes and I didn't get cancer. Okay, yes, autism existed before Tylenol, but there's also a rise in it, which is a contributing factor the same way cancer existed before cigarettes, but they also tend to cause cancer. Does that make sense for stupid people to kind of break it down in that way and make sense? I hope it does. That's the easiest way I could describe this. You're well, what about the Amish community? Well, I don't know. To be fair, I used to kind of use that argument, and then you see videos of Amish people, and you're like, they all kind of look autistic to me. I don't know if that's I used to do that with my doctors when they were trying to get me to get the vaccine. I'd be like, well, what about the Amish community? And then you look at videos, and you're like, they all actually seem kind of fucked up. I don't know if that's the best way to go about that argument. But apparently they have really low autism rates, or are they not diagnosing it because they're offline and kind of weird? But either way, great community, really support them through and through. So we have a video from Fox. In 2023, there was a class action lawsuit against the maker of Tylenol, alleging use during pregnancy led to birth disorders and autism. A federal judge blocked the evidence from being presented, effectively ending the case. How is that legal to block something that literally endangers the life of people and causes them to have lifelong issues with them? So that's crazy.
Fox Business Alert, take a look at shares of Kenvue. They are up about 1.6%. Kenvue is the consumer products unit J&J spun off back in August. Shares hitting a one-month high at this hour after it received a favorable court ruling related to a class action lawsuit. The lawsuit claimed that exposure to Tylenol during pregnancy caused birth disorders. The federal judge in the case issued an order that will not allow the plaintiffs to present evidence for a link between prenatal exposure to Tylenol and autism or ADHD. JP Morgan added Kenvue to its focus list, saying the ruling effectively collapses the plaintiff's case in this litigation.
So can we use common sense here? First of all, those are very serious things that are wrong that affect you for the rest of your life. So if you're talking about autism and birth defects, what do you guys think common sense wise would happen if they had evidence and could prove it and they presented that to the public? What do you think would happen? They will lose a lot of money. I don't think you can sue them. There should be lawsuits. I mean, obviously, they'd probably just, drive your car off a cliff if you did try to sue them anyways. But it's like, obviously, they would lose money because why would people take that? Also, there's natural versions of this stuff. I know there's a natural version that I take from Whole Foods, and it's pretty much like an Advil, but they take all the icky, weird stuff out of it that doesn't need to be in there. It's like not like we're telling people you can never use an Advil again, but it's like, why can't you guys just understand with everything, with politics, with Big Pharma, with all this stuff? Like, just follow the money. You think they're gonna, be honest with you guys and they care about us? No, they just care about their bottom line. They're not gonna let that information get out, which is crazy. If that is all true, how is that not how are these people not on trial? How is that not part of crimes against humanity? Knowing that you're letting people be disabled because you don't want to lose money. But these are the people that the liberals literally praise and trust. They're like, we love Big Pharma. And then these are the people that end up at the fucking protest getting paid $100 a day as well. So I don't know. We have a video of Jim Carrey on vaccines being money scams by Big Pharma.
Why would a doctor not want to know more about something that could save a life or prevent a disease? I don't understand.
The AAP is financed by the drug companies. Medical schools are financed by the drug companies. This is a huge business. Vaccines are the largest growing division of the pharmaceutical industry. $13 billion.
They control
profit.
medical schools.
What we're asking is for them to take a loss for the good of our children. That's a tough sell in a boardroom.
Growing up, he was my favorite actor. I was obsessed with him. And then they always kind of say, don't meet your heroes. I met him at a party one night, and it was just I was like, ugh, I feel like this was really, this is fantastic. And of course he's right. It's him in his prime. And it's so funny. They never have anything to really say back to that. But then I just all I can think, which breaks my heart, is after this, someone came to his house and had a talking with him. They had a talk with him. They were like, yeah, you're not going to go say these things anymore. Because then what was the other clip too, where he was walking off stage and was throwing up the Illuminati, which I think it was after something like this. Whatever, that's another rabbit deep hole. But yeah, I mean, you guys, there's a movie, what is it? Okay, I believe Protocol 7, if I'm correct. Watch, it's like a documentary they made into a film because most people aren't very smart and they can't just watch a documentary on Big Pharma. And it's all about vaccine companies. And what's so insane about it, and I forced my boyfriend to go watch it. I was like, this is how you know things aren't good. We were in an independent movie theater, and I'm not even joking. It was us and two 90-year-olds. And I was like, this movie should be sold out. This kind of worries me a little bit. But this was maybe 9 months ago, maybe a year ago. And all it is it's based on a true story. This guy literally got banned, kicked out of the UK, from the UK, for exposing all this because, and you see, it's mostly about the parents that have children with autism, and they're like, yo, my kid was fine, I vaccinated them, and then they can't even talk, and they're seizing out their mouths the next day. You can't act like this is just natural. So the whole thing is about you just follow the money. When people are like, but the science, I'm like, but the science is also fake and paid for. You have tiers of people. So they go and threaten them. Then they change their study a little bit. And then this comes out. And then, this is more okay, this we can deal with. We can appease. And hey, that's not a good percentage. We got to up that percentage so we can sell it. When you realize that it's just all fake, Like, it sucks. I'm not saying all science is fake, but when it comes to specifically vaccines, like, watch the movie. Just watch the movie and then get back to me on it. Trust me, you guys, it'll just show you the truth, and it's honestly heartbreaking to see because children are suffering because of it. So we have a video of a deranged TikToker taking Tylenol while pregnant to protest President Trump. Her kid will soon come out and be paid $100 for to be protesting for Palestine as well. Isn't this kind of like proving our point that, like, maybe her mom, when she was pregnant, took a lot of Tylenol and now she's not very smart? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm kind of like, this isn't this. Where's this going? It's also kind of crazy. The hatred for Trump, which I don't understand because I've just always thought he was just one of the realest, most, just funny, entertaining people on the planet. I think he should. Why he's in politics is crazy because I'm like, just be in comedy. Like, he should have the late night show, not Jimmy Fallon or whoever these people are that I don't watch. But I'm just like, what? The derangement is crazy. To be like, I'm gonna hurt myself and my unborn child because I don't like the president. Like, does that seem like we're doing good as a country? Does this seem like a very mentally stable person? And then also, it's like, do you think she did this and then she saw the tweet from Advil and was like, oh, I mean, what do I do now? I mean, look, I don't think you're gonna something's gonna happen if you take a bunch of it at one time. Hopefully not. But I'm just like, I don't know. Do you think like they look at that and they go, maybe I was wrong? I don't think so. I think they're insane. So I don't know.